Welcome to Friends and Fiction. 4 New York Times bestselling authors, endless stories. Novelists Mary Kay Andrews, Kristin Harmel, Kristy Woodson Harvey, and Patti Callahan Henry are 4 longtime friends with more than 70 published books between them. Together, they host Friends and Fiction, with author interviews and fascinating insider talk about publishing and writing, to highlight and support independent bookstores. They discuss the books they've written, the books they're reading now, and the art of storytelling. If you love books and you're curious about the writing world, you're in the right place.
Hello, everyone. It's that time. It's Wednesday night. Welcome to the Friends and Fiction Show. We are all so excited to be together with you live, and we have got an incredible show in store for you. So let's get rolling. I am Patti Callahan Henry.
I'm Kristy Woodson Harvey.
I'm Kristin Harmel.
And I'm Mary Kay Andrews.
And this is Friends and Fiction. 4 New York Times bestselling authors, endless stories to support indie bookstores, authors, librarians, and readers like you. On this week's live show, we are thrilled to welcome our third. I was mixing up third and thrilled. Thrilled to welcome our third. You try that. Third 2024 featured author of the month, Bohjalian. And he is here to discuss our Friends and Fiction pick of the month for March 2024. His highly anticipated novel, The Princess of Las Vegas.
But first, just a quick reminder to check out all the fun stuff we've got going on in our Friends and Fiction community at friendsandfiction.com.
There you will find our show schedule, details on any upcoming in-person events, plus links to our bookshop.org page, to the Friends and Fiction official book club with Brenda and Lisa, to our merch store and our book subscription box, and to our weekly email newsletter sign up.
In other words, if you want to know more about anything that Friends and Fiction offers, and we offer quite a lot, be sure to check out friendsandfiction.com.
We will give you more details about both of these things at the end of the show, but we really want to make sure you know, because we've been getting questions and emails and DMs. It is ready. It is time. It is the 2024 Friends and Fiction subscription box with Oxford Exchange. Boo, 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 boo. Meg will share the link to purchase in the comments, but you get Mary Kay's book, signed first edition, Kristy Woodson Harvey's book, A Happier Life, signed first edition, and this darling pouch. See its size? It's big. You can fit like a whole paperback in there.
It's 8.5 by 11. Think like a sheet of typing paper. It's big and it's pretty and it's nice. You're gonna
love it. I'm so excited. So also mark your calendars for the next big epic Friends and Fiction live in-person event. All of us will be there. Meg, Ron, and some other surprises. And all 4 of us on Sunday, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, in Neptune Beach, Florida, all to celebrate the launch of Mary Kay's Summers at the Saint. Again, Meg will share the ticketing link in the comments, and be sure to stick around till the end of our show, and we will give you even more details.
Yay.
Hey,
okay.
if I order those big sombreros, will you all wear them like the PJs we wore for the
You'll wear anything you want. It's your lunch, baby. You're in charge.
You know, I love a costume.
We love a theme, even if it has nothing to do with our book.
Really quickly, that if you order the Friends and Fiction subscription box, you can also add on Patti and Kristin's new paperbacks. So that's really important. And a lot of you have reached out to me and said that you ordered all 4, which I feel like is the smartest choice that you could make for yourself.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thanks to everyone who did that. That's awesome.
And Kristin, I saw that you have a new cover for your paperback.
No. You might have seen might have been the British cover you saw. Could that have been it? I don't think I do. If I do, that is news to me.
Okay, the 2 women like with the split, like almost a split.
Yes, it's the British cover. Yep, the British and Australian. Yep. But thank you.
All right. Okay, we have quite a show in store. So let's say hello to our March featured author of the month. Chris Bohjalian is the #1 New York Times bestselling author of 24 books. These books have been translated into 35 languages, adapted as 3 movies, and 1 Emmy-nominated TV series.
Chris's books have been chosen as best books of the year by the Washington Post, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the Hartford Courant, the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Publishers Weekly, Library Journal, Kirkus Book Page, and so on.
Woo!
His novel Midwives was a number one New York Times bestseller and a selection for Oprah's book club.
His 2018 novel, The Flight Attendant, debuted as a New York Times, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Publishers Weekly, and National IndieBound bestseller. And it is now, if you haven't heard about this, I don't know how you haven't, but it is now
right?
An HBO Max TV series starring Kaylee Cuoco. Incidentally, it had been on my long-term list to watch, and I watched it all in just a couple of sittings a week or so ago. It's amazing. You have to watch it if you haven't seen it. I thought it was so good. Yes.
Well, I read the book on a plane.
That's not smart. No, I loved the book, and it just took me a long time to get to the series. It was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Great.
Well, Chris is also a playwright and a screenwriter. He has a new play, The Club, which arrived at the George Street Playhouse in New Brunswick, New Jersey in February 2024. Chris has also written for a wide variety of magazines and newspapers and was a weekly columnist in Vermont for the Burlington Free Press.
Chris is also kind of a smarty pants. He graduated Phi Beta Kappa and summa cum laude from Amherst College. He has been awarded honorary degrees as well from Amherst, Champlain, and Castleton University. He lives in Vermont with his wife, the photographer Victoria Bluer. His new novel, The Princess of Las Vegas, is set to be released next week, and we are so excited to talk with him about it live right now. So, Sean, without further ado, bring Chris on so we can talk to him and not about him.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. Oh my gosh, way more information than anyone needs. The most important thing people need to know is I am Jesse the Rescue Dog's dad.
We left the most important thing off. Mm-hmm. And anybody who follows you on Instagram gets loads of Jessie content.
That's right.
I exploit her shamelessly.
She's worth exploiting. She's adorable.
Thank you.
All right. Welcome, Chris, as our pick of the month.
Hi, Patti. Hi, everyone. It's a real honor to be with all of you on Friends in Fiction. The 4 of you are amazing, and I'm really, really privileged to be with you. Thank you.
And we're so glad you're starting off your whole big launch with us, and we'll talk about that later. But we're going to dive right into this book because in this twisty-turny, sometimes funny, sometimes tragic novel, a Princess Diana impersonator and her strange sister find themselves drawn into a dangerous game of money, murder, cryptocurrency, and family secrets on the Las Vegas Strip. As you wrote in your note inside my book, welcome to the Buckingham Palace Casino. May you steer clear of the mobs, oligarchs, and all-purpose casino crazies, which we don't do in the novel. So, Chris, what else would you say about this book? And of course, our favorite, what would you say it's really about?
You know, a lot of people think a Lady Di in Las Vegas cocktail is utterly nonsensical, but the only Princess Diana museum in the United States is in Las Vegas. So perhaps it was a natural. I wanted to explore 2 things in this book. The legacy of Princess Diana. Why is she still in the zeitgeist? And Las Vegas, that phantasmagoric asteroid that shoots across our night skies, that funhouse mirror for the dreamers and the damaged among us all. Now, I did briefly consider a Princess Diana historical fiction novel, but it felt too soon. And I love writing historical fiction. 5 of my novels are historical fiction. But the fact that Diana's children, ex-husband, grandchildren, and we think her daughter-in-law are still alive led me to feel that it's just too soon. So I did dive into an exploration of why do we still revere this remarkable woman?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, Chris, our POV goes back and forth between Kristy and Betsy, two sisters. We see them slowly become entangled after a season apart. They are so different, yet both carrying secrets, hidden desires, and tragedy. So I want you to introduce us to them both. So we're going to play a little game, not poker or roulette. It's the pretend we're at a dinner party game, and you must introduce the sisters to us before they show up. So let's start with Kristy, whose opening chapter starts with only one word, luck. And then the line, aren't all narrators unreliable? So tell us about Kristy, whose wry, witty voice takes us into Las Vegas.
Yeah. Chrissy Dowling was an actor in New York City until her agent realized that A, she had an uncanny resemblance to Lady Di and did one heck of an awesome Diana imitation. And so they built what began as a party act into a tribute show. Enter the Buckingham Palace Casino. And one of the most fun things I've ever done was to create a casino for a novel. So the Buckingham Palace loves the idea of having in their showroom a Princess Diana impersonator. So she relocates there and brings with her all sorts of internal demons because she is deeply damaged. But 2 shows a night, 5 nights a week on this shabby, off-the-strip casino, she brings Princess Diana back to life for an increasingly large group of devoted fans. Her sister Betsy is a social worker in Vermont, but she decides to relocate to Las Vegas because her new boyfriend, a former hedge fund manager, is convinced that the future of casino gaming in Vegas is cryptocurrency. But what's really clear to the reader, before it is to Betsy, is that her boyfriend is in with some seriously scary dudes, not just the Vegas mob, but it seems Russian oligarchs. And one of the things about this book that fascinated me, I digress, is I actually finished what I thought was the book in early 2022.
Wow.
But then Putin invaded Ukraine, and all of a sudden, a lot of my Russian oligarch jokes felt really tone deaf. Secondly, as I was rewriting it, the Queen died. And that was when I realized, okay, you cannot set this book in the amorphous present. You need to pick a date, and that is when the book is set, because these days when you're writing some kinds of thrillers, history moves faster than fiction.
Yeah.
Now, the one character I did not introduce you to, Kristy, is Betsy's new daughter.
Ooh.
Betsy was a social worker in Vermont, and she's adopted a 13-year-old foster child named Marissa, who might just be the smartest person in the room.
Nice.
More than might be. She
More than
definitely is.
I love that. Now, I feel like talking about these characters is a great segue into this question. So you've written about a wide range of fascinating ideas, from a safari to a very in-trouble flight attendant, to a witch hunt, to a midwife, and more. And these characters just jump off the page in every one of these books. You've had movies and TV series and stage productions, and each one has been born of a different curiosity or idea. You've been on the Friends and Fiction stage before, so you know that one of our favorite things to talk about is the origin of story. So I'd love to ask you, can you pinpoint the first moment you thought you might write about Princess Diana? Las Vegas, gambling, an impersonator, cryptocurrency, sisters, all of this. How did this idea come together? And what came first in this wild ride of a story?
Yeah, that's a great question. Sometimes I can pinpoint precisely when a book began. I know The Flight Attendant began in March of 2016. I just flown from Yerevan, Armenia to New York City, and I'm having dinner with a friend of mine, and 3 threads came together alchemically. The miracle of aviation, the idea I had breakfast 8 time zones from where I'm having dinner, the fact I'd flown on Aeroflot, Russia, espionage, and third, the beauty of booze in the bar in New York City where I was waiting for a friend of mine, and So I had an idea for a functional alcoholic who happens to be a flight attendant. The Princess of Las Vegas is different. It's possible the book began as far back as August of 1997, when Diana died in a cataclysmic car accident in a Paris tunnel. My wife is a fine artist, and she was doing the Washington Square Art Show, and it was really clear that that weekend, no one was going to talk about art. The customers were not going to be focused on art. It was all going to be about this remarkable young woman who was tragically gone. And it might have begun there. Who knows? I know that I've been fascinated by the royals ever since. It might have began in The Crown. I think it was season 4. When you see The Crown bring to life what I think is the most astonishing thing Diana ever did. Aside from the good, aside from the humanitarian Diana, let's talk about the showwoman Diana, because as Fergie, Duchess of York Sarah, not Fergie, Black Eyed Peas, said of her sister-in-law Diana, she was the best publicist on the planet. So it's December 1985. Diana wants to give Charles a surprise birthday present. And what does she do? She says to her friend, Wayne Sleep, a premier British ballet dancer, let's dance for Charles. And at the Royal Opera House, she surprised him by dancing with Wayne Sleep, a premier ballet dancer, to Billy Joel's Uptown Girl. And it was fantastic. The Crown's recreation of it is gorgeous. So it might have begun that moment in 2020 that it really clicked. This woman is still in the zeitgeist for a lot of reasons. And this is one. And there's a remarkable novel in this, Princess Show Person. And when you think show person, maybe you think Vegas. Maybe you think residency. And I think that's where the cocktail might have begun. You know, the other thing I think it's important to note is this. My books have changed a lot in the last 10 or 12 years. I fell in love with premium cable television and then streaming television. The Sopranos, The Wire, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, The Americans, Succession. What all of these shows have in common is my literary sweet spot, dread. And so I began leaning more and more into dread in the last decade. And I hope my books are no less literary, but very often I am using dread as a way into character. Yeah, we say on the cover of The Princess of Las Vegas, the princess is fake, the murders are real, and there is a body count. There are corpses.
There's a lot of bodies.
But all of you have gotten to the real issue for me. 2 sisters, sibling rivalry, 2 human beings, and arguably a third, this 13-year-old girl, who are so fundamentally damaged, as we all are.
When were you able to say, dread is my thing? Like, can you find the moment where you realize that is what I want to lean into in my work? Or did you just start to see it rise up? I'm just curious, because that's such a aha moment, right?
Yeah. Okay, my mom died when I was a young man. My father died more recently. And when I was cleaning out his home, under his bed, I found a sweater box. And in it were all of these short stories I'd written in the 4th and 5th grade.
Oh my God.
And my mom had saved them. And then my dad had saved them. And one of them really fascinated me. It is the oldest short story in existence I ever wrote. And the last sentence of that story, which I wrote when I was 9, could have appeared in so many of my books, including the safari set novel, The Lioness. This is the last sentence. The dripping stopped, and the vultures had their meal.
Oh my God.
Even at 9, it was really clear.
You were leaning
Dread was my thing.
Wow.
Dread is my jam. Now, I saw an article in the Washington Post about 2 months ago that I also found really interesting because it also gets at what I do. Anticipatory grief. I think my books are also about that. Sometimes they shock me with a happy ending. But when they do have a happy ending, I'm surprised.
Interesting.
Exact opposite of me.
Exactly. I was thinking that.
Gosh, there's so much stuff I would like to ask you about, but I'm going to go ahead with this question because I know for me, I'm always playing with the theme of finding home in my own work.
Yes.
And I feel a theme of home and family permeating the pages of The Princess of Las Vegas. Now, Chrissy has had to make a home of her casino, as meager as it is. And you have the little foster child from foster care trying to find what home means. Do you find this as a sub-theme? And if so, was this purposely done, or did it sort of naturally arise with Chrissy, Betsy, and Marissa?
Okay. That question is so freaking smart.
It's
and
Patty's
astute.
question. She gave it to me.
Well, God bless you both. I have never.
But your delivery was so good.
It was super smart. Yes.
Yeah, it was really scholarly. It really was exuding I'm really deconstructing this work kind of moment. It was brilliant. But anyway, thank you, Patti. Thank you, Mary Kay. I have never until this very moment thought of the role of home in my work, but it is clearly and precisely there. At one point in my life, I went to 5 public schools in 6 years in 3 states.
Oh, wow.
Home for me was always a very fluid concept. I had wonderful parents, a magnificent older brother, but home for me, I think, is one of those demons that when I see my therapist tomorrow, I'm going to say, okay, so I was yakking with friends in fiction last night, and Patti and Mary Kay brought up home, and I want to talk about this because I think you are onto something. Home, or the search for home, or the lack of home, does figure in my work. I mean, I can think of 3 books featuring homeless kids. 3. Close Your Eyes, Hold Hands, The Buffalo Soldier, and The Princess of Las Vegas. All have homeless foster kids. Yeah. And I never made that connection until this very second.
Wow. Welcome to the Friends in Fiction Psychoanalytic Theory.
We're basically NPR, and so we're glad that you could join us.
Right. Please make yourself comfortable on the sofa over there. The clock.
Now, could you tell us your latest dream?
They're plane crashes or planes that never get off the ground.
I have so many plane crash dreams.
Boeing.
I have plane crash dreams all the time. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay. And driving off a bridge.
Now, Chris, were there?
My therapist says that plane crash dreams aren't really about a fear of flying. They're about a fear of being out of control.
Oh,
shocking! Shocking.
Always. I have a continual dream. My anxiety dream is either that I'm driving a car and I can't reach the brake pedal.
Yeah.
I'm speeding and my foot won't reach the brake pedal, or I'm free falling through clouds and there's no safety net. But that's me. Let's talk about Chris's psyche.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no filter.
Well, that's what makes you a great
comedian. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why we asked you back, Chris.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you see any other themes? I mean, we've talked about the theme of home, and we've talked about dread. Anything else we need to go into tonight?
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay, good. He's still absorbing his home theme. All right.
Yeah, I am.
Before we keep going, I'm just here to remind all of you out there to put in your live questions because we're about to flip it around and ask him some of your questions. But Kristin, go ahead.
So, Chris, I think it's time we move on from the psychoanalysis portion of the evening.
Must we?
To the murder part of the evening.
Come on, that should be my thing.
Home and murder.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, Kathy. You're being a theme hog. I'm just kidding. All right, so the murders. Chris, you do not take us in easy. The first murder happens in the opening pages. We are privileged from the get-go to know a little bit more than Chrissy knows. So the web of this story is so intricate. This kind of question about what we know, what the characters know, and what you as the author know lend themselves to this. Do you outline? Or do you set yourself up and jump off a story cliff, hoping that the net will appear, unlike in Mary Kay's dreams, where the net doesn't appear? So I'm not even going to pretend, Chris, that I'm asking for a friend. I'm just purely asking for myself. Can you please tell me how to outline such an intricate book? Because I know, truly, I'm fascinated by your process. The way this comes together on the page is extraordinary.
One of my favorite quotes is Diana. I lead from the heart, not the head. And I love that quote because I write from the heart, not the head. I have literally no idea where my books are going when I start. Wow. I depend on my characters to take me by the hand and lead me through the dark of the story. So a book like The Princess of Las Vegas, literally, this was all I had to begin with. Imagine the TV series Hacks meets the TV series The Crown. Two sisters, one who's a Princess Diana impersonator, one who's a social worker who relocates to Vegas with a really bad egg of a boyfriend.
Yeah,
but
he is.
When I began this book, I had a very different set of criminals because they were all Russian oligarchs.
Oh.
And that, certainly changed as I went through subsequent drafts. There is a body count, yes, but the opening prologue wasn't what I wrote first.
It is. I'm always fascinated by that. Yeah.
What I wrote first was Chrissy Dowling's voice, a first-person actor talking about how I live in Las Vegas, a city that's all about luck, and sometimes what we think is terrible luck, you miss your plane because your cab is stuck in traffic and the plane crashes. Right. It's really good luck. Or what you think is really good luck turns out to be horrifically bad luck. And as I think Patti observed in her opening, how I'm not going to tell you about my childhood because no one remembers their childhood. No narrator is reliable. Yeah. And of course, as you get into the book, you realize that Chrissy isn't telling you about her childhood, not because of some moral stance that she doesn't believe narrators are reliable, but because she is living in such spectacular denial. Wow. I mean, the reader knows so much more about Chrissy from her sister Betsy than from Chrissy, because Chrissy spends so much of her life in a Valium Adderall haze, dealing with her own eating disorder and not admitting the truth of her past and how deeply and profoundly scarred she is.
Do those pieces of it show up in your first draft, or is that stuff that gets woven in as you're doing draft after draft and deepening and enriching these characters?
If I didn't know better, I think the four of you were novelists. Oh, wait, you are.
You think we were asking for advice or something?
No.
I mean,
your questions are so great. And thank you for them. Thank you for being so gracious with your questions. I love it. As the four of you know, some stuff gets added in with each draft, and you kill some darlings.
Yeah.
Some of, for example, Diana's demons. Wow, there was a Freudian slip. Some of Chrissy Dowling's demons, I dialed back, and some I made worse.
Okay.
Same with Betsy. But here is one hidden Easter egg. Why is Chrissy Dowling called Chrissy? Because my father always called me Chrissy.
No way.
Oh, wow.
That's
Oh,
one of
that's
those
really
Easter eggs
cool.
about how much of me might be in Chrissy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so that's actually a great segue into what I wanted to ask you next. We have a bunch of live questions coming in from the audience, but this one I was like, oh, I want to know this too. So Nancy is wondering, has the discovery of any of these old short stories sparked any ideas for new books?
Yeah, I want to know too.
What a great question. Will we ever have a novel about a disembodied hand that emerges from a wishing well? Maybe. No, I don't think so. And then there was the one all about sibling rivalry on the school safety patrol and who was going to be the sibling who got to wear the orange safety patrol sash.
Oh my God.
There's a novel in that.
Awesome.
Oh, wait, and then there's one short story. I'm not making this up. This one was actually from 7th grade. The corned beef who talked to God.
I love that so much.
That's a good one.
Chris, I would buy that. I mean,
Yeah, who wouldn't?
who wouldn't?
That has to be a short. That's awesome.
So when you look back on these things, like I found a folder of my old short stories from college, which honestly should have been better than they were, frankly. I was like a little bit concerned at how horrible they were. But so like, are you so young when you're writing those stories that when you look back, you aren't even like, you can't even really judge them?
Okay. The earliest short stories, what's really impressive is this. My penmanship was awesome. No one did cursive better than me.
Were you in Catholic schools?
I wasn't, but I'm just so old that they still taught cursive.
Well, I think we all learned it too.
But Kristy, if it makes you feel better, when I was a sophomore in college, I wanted desperately to be in the novelist in residence creative writing seminar. To determine who would be in it, you would submit a short story before the December break. She would read it over the holidays and let you know January if you were in. Well, in January, I was summoned to her office and she said, I have 3 words for you. Be a banker.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Look at all of our faces.
all
I
just
got a screenshot of that.
All of the blood just like ran out of our faces. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, and in all fairness, be a banker wouldn't have been terrible advice, perhaps, except for the fact that previous autumn, I'd nearly failed Economics 11. And the professor said to me after I failed the midterm, why do you care about any of this? I see your name in the student newspaper all the time. When you get out of this joint, you're going to be a writer. You're not going to be a banker.
Wow.
You know, Louisa May Alcott wrote for a newspaper and her editor said, stick to your teaching, Miss Alcott. You'll never be a writer. So, you know, where would we be?
Actually, I believe Mary Kay Andrews has a similar story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So Claudia Dursa wants to know how much time did you spend in Las Vegas? And I'm going to add to that, how much did you lose? Or did you?
I've been to Las Vegas maybe 6 or 7 times in my life. Probably 3 times once just before the pandemic, twice since researching. I don't lose money at casinos because I don't gamble.
Good point.
It's hard to lose money if you don't gamble.
That's right.
So.
But I'm still fascinated by Vegas. And I will tell you this, I love tribute performers and the tribute shows. And if you go to see one tribute show in Las Vegas, you must see Carpenter's Legacy.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's at Planet Hollywood. And the two people who bring Karen and Richard Carpenter to life are fantastic. They are unbelievable musicians, and it is the most perfect. And I compared what they do on stage to the concert they're recreating, and it is so beautiful and so poignant. And the thing that's so great about it is, I've seen it twice. The thing that's so great about it is you're surrounded by all these people who are going, oh, I had danced to that at my wedding, or oh my God, I had all the feels when my mother first played that song for me, or oh my God, I remember where I was when they sang that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, We've Only Just Begun was my high school graduation class song. That's how old I am.
Oh, stuff.
I love Karen Carpenter. I used to play that record over and over and over. And talk about another person with another famous woman star with an eating disorder.
We've Only Just Begun is in my next book. I just thought of that.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, it all comes together. Chris, I would like to ask you one more live question. This is from Mindy Ehrlich. She says, and we agree, Chris is such a nice guy. How does he come up with such twisted characters? And that kind of goes to something I was wondering earlier. Like your characters are all so different from each other, but you get inside their heads so well. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
First of all, thank you. I'm really honored that you think I'm a nice person. I think I'm kind of a crank.
That's true.
But I am very, very comfortable with the reality that all of us are flawed. Yeah. We all make unbelievable mistakes. And that's what I try to channel in my books. I do think it is much easier for me to write about fundamentally good people who make bad choices than I am at writing about really evil people. Whenever I read my books and I've got evil characters, I find myself doubting that they're believable because I'm not good at really getting at, really the worst human beings on the planet. But I do love to write about good people making bad choices. And it always cracks me up when people say, oh, I didn't like that book because he or she made bad choices. Or I don't think anyone would make a choice that bad, so I gave it, 1 star. Because, oh my goodness gracious, who among us makes only good choices?
Not on this screen.
I've made a few really good choices in my life. The woman I fell in love with, our decision to have our daughter, our decision to rescue a dog, and moving to Vermont. Every other choice I've made in my life is probably dubious.
Chris, I think that's a little, probably not very true. But we've all can look back, and if we try to make our characters so rosy and shiny, there's nothing interesting about them because we know
I agree.
We all have a shadow. Yeah. I do have to say that Meg has decided that if she opens a sandwich shop, it is going to be called Corned Beef Talks to God.
Perfect.
Fair.
I love it.
Fair.
And, and I got to tell you, when I was designing the Buckingham Palace Casino, because it's got to have a British theme, my fictional casino, I had so much fun creating things like, the diner for kids is William's Milk Shakespeare.
So
okay, that didn't get a laugh. That just bombed.
Love it. No, it didn't.
We're laughing.
I was laughing.
We will not take that joke on the road.
Stop! It was great.
Okay, we'll try one more. The burlesque show is the 6 Sexy Wives of Henry VIII.
That's good.
That's a
there
good
you go.
That's a good one.
So essentially you made your whole own casino. This is not a real casino in Las Vegas.
It is a fictional casino called the Buckingham Palace.
That
And we
is
even
awesome.
have Buckingham Palace, Queen of Hearts, Princess of Las Vegas playing cards.
Maybe
Which
in
leads
the
us to spread. I want to see that the card.
yeah.
Show the
Oh.
cards up close. Yeah.
Oh, yes, when I'm on book tour for the next 17 years of my life, the four of you know that drill. We will
Yes.
be giving away at all of the stops the official Princess of Las Vegas playing cards as swag.
That is
So
so
cool.
fun.
Awesome.
I'd show up just
Love
for
it.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, Chris. Thank you so much for being with us on the Friends
Oh,
of Fiction
goodness.
show and talking to us and diving deep into psychoanalysis. But before we let you go, tell our community where you're going to be on the road and where your tour starts and what your tour looks like, because we know everybody is going to be looking for you.
And those
Okay.
cards. They all want those
Yeah.
playing cards.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. First of all, I want to again thank the four of you. You are such amazingly gifted novelists and writers, and you are so gracious, and you are four of the very best literary citizens on the planet. What the four of you do to celebrate what words and reading and books can mean to the soul is epic. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, the book tour. Let's see if I can do this. March 16th, Burlington, Vermont. March 18th, Coronado, California, and San Diego, California at Warwick's Bookstore. Tuesday, I won't do this. Okay. Basically, you can find all the events at chrisbohjalian.com or the Penguin Random House site. It is 24 events between
Wow.
Burlington, San Diego, Phoenix, St. Louis, Philadelphia.
24 events.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Did you just say 24?
24.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
And there's some really fun days. For example, on Friday, March 20th, I get up at 3 in the
That's a
morning.
Wednesday because it's my
Ooh.
birthday.
Oh, it is
Oh,
your
wait.
birthday. Yes.
Wait, what day did I say? March 20th?
March 20th is a Wednesday. I know this
Happy
for sure.
birthday, Patti.
Thank you.
So sorry, it's March 22.
Okay.
I get up at 3 in the morning. I have events in 2 states, and I'm on 4 airplanes.
Oh.
We will pray for you.
No, but it's fine. But anyway, so basically from March 16th till April 24th, I am in 4 time zones, 24 cities, and you can find them all at chrisbohjalian.com or Penguin Random House's Princess of Las Vegas page. And I hope I see so many of you who are watching live and in person, so I can thank you for joining me and give you some swag.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and don't forget, Chris, tell people where they can find you on social media because everybody loves catching up with Jesse and your bike rides.
Thank you. Thank you. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X still, Litzy, Goodreads, and very, very badly, TikTok. And it's always at Chris Bohjalian.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Now, even if we are about to say goodbye to Chris, do not go anywhere, all of you out there. We have loads to tell you about. And possibly, I'm not sure if we're doing an after show, possibly maybe an after show.
We're going to keep you filled with dread.
Yeah.
Yes. We
Yes.
want this kind of sense of
Awful
anticipatory
Yes.
happiness.
Dread. Yeah.
Anticipatory
Yes.
happiness is what
Yes.
we're aiming for here.
Yep.
Right.
And now that you've had the pleasure of hearing from Chris, we encourage you to rush out and order your copies of The Princess of Las Vegas. The perfect place to order is on the Friends and Fiction shop on bookshop.org. Not only will you be getting the book at a discount, but you'll also be supporting the show, our beloved independent booksellers nationwide, and thanking Chris for coming on and talking to us tonight.
Yeah. All right, Chris, we've absolutely loved having you. Good luck on the road, and please stay well out there, okay?
And
Because we need
instead
you
of
to
seeing
come
my
back.
therapist all the time, can I just see the 4 of you?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes,
We'll go with you.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks
Good night,
all.
Chris.
You're the best.
Good night,
You
Chris. You're
are.
amazing.
Chris.
You're amazing. All right. As we say goodbye to one show, I know that you want to know about the next show. So we'll be sure to tune in next week as Kristy and Mary Kay sit down with Pulitzer Prize winner Anna Quindlen to discuss her new novel, After Annie. You can catch that interviewing airing in video format at 7 p.m. next Wednesday, March 20th, if I didn't mention my birthday, and the Friends in Fiction Facebook page and YouTube channel. It will then be posted to our podcast on Friday, March 22nd, when Chris will be on 4 planes and 4 time zones.
It's crazy.
That's right. Okay, everybody, we have more to chat about. First, our newsletter. This week we will have 2. That's 2 issues. Our regular free issue went out today, and it included book recs from each of us, links to watch or listen to current shows, and news about our merch, subscription box, and book club. On Friday, we're going to send out an issue to our paid subscribers. We have such great content planned for this issue, including some bonus green room footage we filmed with Chris tonight before the show went live. So visit our website for the link to sign up, and Meg will share the link in the comments. And this is one way, if you love our show, you can help us keep doing this show by going to the paid subscription to our Substack newsletter. We hope you will all
great
subscribe.
stuff.
Yeah.
We also hope that you'll follow us on Instagram and join our Facebook group that's now nearly 250,000 members strong. There is some book conversation going on in that group. And be sure to visit the website of our amazing indie bookstore friends at Oxford Exchange in Tampa, Florida, because as a reminder, it's the only place you can purchase the Friends in Fiction 2024 book subscription box, which includes the signed first edition of MKA's Summers at the Saint, My A Happier Life, and an adorable one-of-a-kind zipper pouch that says, My Weekend is Booked with Friends in Fiction. Plus, you have the option of adding the new 2024 trade paperback editions of Patti's The Secret Book of Flora Lee and Kristin's The Paris Daughters. So don't miss it.
You know, I have to say we're doing a really bad job with the dread thing here. Like we're just announcing delightful things. I'm not feeling the sense of dread that I think we're supposed to have right now.
Anticipatory happiness. I'm telling you.
Okay, it's like the inverse of
we're doing
that's
the
our
inverse.
exactly. That's
our thing.
Exactly. All right. And did someone mention in-person events live?
I did.
Oh, well, excellent. Mark your calendars, people.
Quieter than she's ever been in her life. I did.
I know.
You guys, we have 2 epic Friends in Fiction launch events on the docket for this summer already. The 4 of us, plus Ron, Meg, and Sean. I'm so excited. We'll all be... Yeah, Sean is coming. They'll all be in Neptune Beach, Florida on Sunday, May 5th for a 3 p.m. event to celebrate the launch of MKA's Summers at the Saint. Sean says in the comments, not as excited as he is. I don't know about that.
I love that.
So excited. Okay, Indie Bookstore, The Bookmark, is selling tickets now, so get yours before they sell out.
And then on Friday, June 28th, we will all be together again in St. Louis, Missouri for the big launch celebration for Kristy's A Happier Life.
It's epic.
Epic. I guess I was saying big too much. So if you say big more than 3 times, it turns into the word epic.
Epic. Yeah.
So A Happier Life. Stay tuned. By this time next week, we will have a ticketing link. But for now, save the dates, May 5th and June 28th, so you can meet up with all of us and not miss out on the fun.
Absolutely. We've got details on our website, too, about the Friends in Fiction official book club with Brenda and Lisa. We hope you are following them on their separate Facebook page and Instagram feed. Join them for their next online is skating, online author discussion happening this coming Monday, March 18th. They'll be live on their Facebook page at 7 p.m. Eastern with author Tia Wims to discuss a love song for Ricky Wilde.
I have a recurring dream that I am at book events and roller skates. I'm sorry. I just thought of it and had to share.
No, you do not.
Yes, I do.
That's adorable. That's such a Kristy adorable.
But I'm like freaking out a little bit because it's like not super professional to be in roller skates at your book events. Anyway.
We're going to talk about dreams in the after show. So to all of you, our viewers and listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you love the Friends in Fiction show, we hope you'll leave a rating, a review, and remember to tell a friend. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you can catch all of our back episodes and never miss a thing. When you subscribe to our podcast, you can listen at home or on the go. We hope you've had an incredible evening with our fantastic guest, Chris Bohjalian. Stick around and we'll see you in a minute in the after show to analyze Kristy's dreams.
Thank you for tuning in. You can join us every week on Facebook or YouTube, where our live show airs on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, subscribe to our podcast and follow us on Instagram. We're so glad you're here.
That was so fun.
Yeah, it really was. Such a great guest.
Oh my gosh. He does more than answer the question, right?
Yeah.
He takes it
Oh.
he takes it to the next level.
Hey, he's still backstage.
Oh, he should come on for our after show.
I know.
Chris, join us for the after show because we're going to talk about dreams.
I don't want to micromanage Kristin's schedule, but she's in New York and she has a commitment in about 5 minutes.
Yep. So if you disappear, we will know why.
If
We
Kristin
will-
disappears, it's not because she dreamed something bad.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
Kristin has to pop off.
Well, we're going to brag about Kristin for a second.
yeah, let's brag
So
about her before she leaves.
Chris Bohjalian, today, Kristin was the MC, keynote speaker, and interview host for a humongous fundraiser in New York for the Susan G. Komen Foundation.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks.
So-
for sharing that.
You rocked
It was my absolute honor to do that. It's such an important cause, and obviously a cause that's near and dear to my heart and Patty's. So
Yeah.
it's a real honor.
Well, we're very proud of you.
We wish we'd been there.
I wish you were too. Meg was there. Meg Walker got to come. That was really fun.
I was supposed to, I told you this, but I was actually supposed to be in New York. And then anyway, so I hate
Basketball happened.
basketball happened.
All right, Chris, you're going to have to take yourself off mute if you want to help answer this.
Okay,
So
Chris, can you hear us, Chris?
can you hear us, Chris? You can hear
Yeah.
us?
Can you hear us?
Oh,
okay,
okay.
perfect. Okay, great.
So real quick, we had a couple of other big events last week. Mary Kay had the big Shamrock Shenanigans
Yes.
to raise
Also
money
amazing.
for her daughter's scholarship for their school. And that was a huge success. And lots of friends and fiction people went, and Megan and I were there.
Yeah, including
Really proud of you.
Patti and Meg, and we had leprechauns and the karaoke Pope made an appearance.
He did.
It's incredible.
And Lisa Harrison was
Harrison, of
there.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa brought a whole crew of her folks, so
She's the best.
it was a lot of. And I mean, it just sort of demonstrates again the warmth and the power of this amazing community that has kind of encircled us with their love. And Kristin, I know you feel that love too.
Absolutely. 100%.
We all do. Yeah.
Yep.
We all do. All right. So I do have to talk about the dreams for a second. So, Chris, tell us your craziest dream, like most recurring dream.
My most recurring dreams, I don't know if they're crazy, involve planes that can't lift off.
Oh.
I have that sometimes too. Or like they start to lift off and then they come down. So it's not like you're crashing.
Yes.
Like it's not a catastrophic event, but it's still scary while it's like happening.
Yep.
So my plane dream is that we're crashing and I'm the only one who notices.
Oh, that's creepy.
We're going down and I'm like, does anybody notice this? Like, we're headed for the earth. Like, what is happening? And everybody's just like totally ignoring it. Yeah.
And none of us work for Boeing.
No.
No.
And all of us have to get on planes.
Yes. You know what? Tomorrow. This is a great
lot.
talk for
I
me.
know, right? I know, right? How about you,
Not even a
Kathy? What
lot.
do you, Mary Kay? What would you have like
The free falling through the clouds dream, and also the dream from my childhood. Remember the playground ride? It was like a merry-go-round thing, but you were seated and you pumped
the
and
metal thing?
the metal thing. And in my continuing dream, I'm flung off into the air and I'm just sailing. And actually, I have to admit to you that my grandson Griffin was on one of those in the playground 2 doors down from our house when he was about 6, and he did go soaring off, and he did break some body part. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
So, I psychoanalyze myself. It's so much cheaper.
That's right. Yes.
I don't know if it's as effective, but it's
Probably
cheaper.
not. I think these are all anxiety dreams, and it's all about my complete lack of control.
I think that's
Yeah.
what all of these
Yeah.
dreams are about. Airplane dreams, not finding the break dreams. How about you, Kristin? And then we'll let you go to your night in New York.
My night in New York. Yeah, which I'm too tired to really participate in. I'm
Yeah,
so
there you go.
exhausted after today. My night in New York's going to involve a lot of sleep, I think. I also have dreams of falling, but I often jerk awake in the middle of those dreams. So like I'm falling, and like suddenly I jerk awake and kick my husband. So I think those are his least favorite dreams because he gets assaulted in the middle of the night for no reason.
Sometimes I dream I'm falling, and then I remember I know how to fly.
Ah, that's awesome.
That's a good one.
That's never happened. I just fall.
I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to fly.
That's
I
incredible.
know how to do that thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we will let everyone go. Chris, you are a delight.
Chris.
Thanks for sharing your dreams with us.
As of the four of you, thank you for all that you do. Really grateful.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you so much.
Kristin,
Good luck with the book.
congratulations on today, and go celebrate and have a good time.
And make sure you remember that we know how to fly when you get on that plane tomorrow.
Yes,
Okay.
all of us.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye, you guys.
Night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Thanks